Yeah, Man United didn't win against Nottingham Forest at Old Trafford on Saturday. It leaves Ruben Amorim's side 13th in the league after 15 games, having lost 6 times already in the Premier League this season. There's more words I've got to read. It also means the new Man United gaffer has won just one of his 4 league games since taking over from Erik ten Hag. Has he been in charge of 4 league games? Ruben Amorim's 4 league games, is that right?
Yep, you got United, Arsenal, Everton and Ipswich.
Now, Amorim spoke to the media after the game. He said that it's going to be difficult and a very difficult transition to get the club back to where they need to be.
We already knew it. It will be a long journey, but we want to win because this is a massive club and you feel it. When you lose one game, it's really hard for everybody. And I can understand that. I can feel it in the stadium after the first goal. So we understand the context. But we have to keep in the same way, doing the same things. The same words that I have here with Everton, I have today. Continue focus on the performance, what we need to do. We need to improve on a lot of aspects of the game and continue to do the same things tomorrow in training.
I saw the lineup when I put on our WhatsApp group. United will score 3 today. I fancied it. Right? We had a bit of pace, although I was surprised that Marcus Rashford, after scoring 2 goals midweek, was dropped. I find that very bizarre. But still, take nothing away. We'll talk about Forest and how great they were in a minute, because they were great. But we were bad. Let me ask you this. It's always difficult when you and I speak about our clubs after a defeat. It doesn't happen too often for you, but it seems to happen loads to me. I just feel that a new manager coming into any club halfway through a season, but more so Man United or Man City or Arsenal or Chelsea, because there's so much expectation. You have no time to get your feet under the desk. I just feel as though he really doesn't know his players and he doesn't know what they're capable of and what they're not, etc. That these games that we're seeing at the moment, those 4 in the Premier League, they're almost like pre-season games where he's trying to find his feet. He's trying to find out who can do what. It's not working, clearly, at the moment. But I don't really understand why. I look at the team: Højlund, Bruno Fernandes, Garnacho, Dalot.
I think a lot of these players, though, I'm not actually sure how good they actually are.
But they're better than... Well, okay, that's the question I'm asking, because Ahmed looks a great player. Bruno looks a great player. Garnacho, he's finishing maybe at times you can question it. Højlund looks like a decent player. Kobbie Mainoo, Ugarte, these are players that are very, very good players. Not great, they're not great, but they're very, very good players. They should be better than what's happening at the moment.
And that's the thing. And if I'm honest, I've been a little bit... I thought I would have expected more from Ruben Amorim coming in, because
Really?
I would have, because I was having a look at just other managers, and I get it. You have to give someone a little bit of a gracing period when they're not new to the Premier League. But then I was looking at other managers' record, and people like Ange Postecoglou, we spoke about that. How many games he won when he first got here. Even Lopetegui at Wolves when he first came in. They beat Gillingham in the Cup, but they beat Everton, lost to your boys, but managed to get a point at Liverpool and against Aston Villa. Fabian Hürzeler, he got to Brighton, he's 32. Everton won, Man United won, beat Crawley in the Cup, drew with Arsenal, drew with Ipswich, beat Wolves. Do you know what I mean? Unai Emery, when he got to Aston Villa.
That new manager bounce, he's getting it.
Unai Emery, very first game, beat Man United 3-1. They'd won 1 game before that in 8, before he took over. And then they had back-to-back defeats. They got beat by Fulham 3-0, beat 2-0 by Chelsea. And when Unai came in, changed it up straight away. But I just wonder if the Manchester United players who, on paper, you go... Because at one point of their career, and some of the guys you can't really comment on too much, because say like someone like Kobbie Mainoo, who's young, hasn't had a lot of injuries, hasn't had a sustained amount of time. You're wondering, are these players as good as we think they are? Or because they're at Manchester United club, you almost get elevated to a level because you're at one of the biggest clubs in the world. So, rightly or wrongly, that's just the nature of the beast, and that's why Manchester United sign you, right? Because they feel like you're a player that can get to that level. But I just think so many of the performances weren't good enough. Onana, I'm going to give him a little bit of a break, because I thought he's been decent this season. But the 2 goals that he conceded, the first one, I thought it had to have taken a deflection.
Yeah, me too.
And it goes straight in the middle of the goal.
And it didn't veer off where it was going by miles, maybe 2 foot. He obviously put all his weight on one side and then he couldn't get back.
Still got to save that.
Yeah,
but even the header from Chris Wood, what's Martinez doing on that? And this is an experienced World Cup winner. So I genuinely think Ruben Amorim came in and thought, right, he looked on paper and thought, you know what, like, I've got a good base to work from. And seeing how you lot have performed in his first, has he been 5 games in charge? Ipswich 1-0. Ipswich could have won that game. Bodo Glimt was like a Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
Everton 4-0, fair enough.
But hold on, Everton 4-0. Everton were horrific at the back.
Yeah, 2-0 Arsenal, 3-2 Forest.
The Arsenal one, we held out well for 45 minutes, but you're brilliant and we're awful.
The only thing I'd say, right, about the Forest result, and I'm not trying to stick up for Man United because you know me, that's not me at all, right?
Yeah.
Is that I've seen Forest go to Anfield and win. So clearly, when they set up with a tactical game plan, they can execute it, because they were brilliant against Liverpool when they beat them 1-0 at Anfield.
That's true.
But for Ruben Amorim, he must be thinking to himself, do you know what? I don't even be able to start it. I mean, I think it's a positive that Højlund's starting to score goals from consistently. So that's almost one problem. You go, right, he'll get me the goals. But defensively, not good enough yet. In the middle of the park, I don't know what you're going to do there.
No.
Out of possession, people can just run all over you.
Do you think that United and or him, as in Ruben Amorim, will maybe write off this season?
You can't. I think.
But what is a really? I know you and I have got a bet, but all jokes aside, where do you think United will finish this season?
I just think, unfortunately for Manchester United, you don't get the luxury of writing off a season.
No, I know that.
Not with the investment that you've made.
What I mean is, by writing it off, United are 13th at the moment on 19 points, right?
Got to get into Europe.
6 points from top 5.
Some form of Europe. And even then might not be good enough, but...
Top 10 is minimum, right? And
I see that.
I know, it sounds awful,
like
right?
If Amorim comes in and Man United get 10th, no one is going to sit here and go, he's done a good job.
No. What does he need to do for people to say he has done a good job?
He's got to get touch and distance of that top 4. Even if he doesn't get it, but it shows ambition that, okay, we weren't that far away, and he wasn't here all season. But if he finishes top 10, surely every Man United fan goes, well, not really lots changed that much.
If United do finish round about 10th, but win the Europa League, I know it's a big if, that gets them into the Champions League next season. That, in theory, could be a great...
Yes, that's a good season, but I wouldn't say that's a sign of progression. Not 8th to 10th.
No, but it's a springboard to progress, isn't it?
You might be able to track some other players because you're Manchester United and you're in the Champions League.
Yeah. Not looking good if you're a United fan at the moment, but are you worried? Are you writing the season off? What's expected? Are you convinced? Talking all things Man United. Ashley's a Man United fan. Hi, Ash.
Hello, boys.
How are you? You all right?
Yeah, very good. Very well, yeah, good. Good show. Great show.
Thanks, Ash.
Ruben Amorim. I like the guy, man. Like, just the way he carries himself.
Mm-hmm.
And look, I've fallen into this trap before, like most United fans, but I just think already, I think he's got a good shape going. You know, we're playing good football. It's not going to happen overnight, like a lot of people are saying. You've got to give the guy time. You've had so many different coaching systems, and Ten Hag, he wasn't coaching them. Let's be honest, and he's making poor decisions. But already, I quite like the sort of the setup of the team, and he's got the players in the right place. But he's got to find his best 11 yet. Give the guy time. Look, you can clip this
Ash,
up.
let me ask you this, right? And I agree with everything you're saying. And I'm asking this question, right? How much time?
I mean, give him to the end of the season. The guy's got pedigree, and he's young, and he's like the shape of the team alone. It just looks so much better than under like Ten Hag and what we've seen before.
Let me just when you say to the end of the season, let me just ask my question in a better way. When I say how much time, that sounds like how much time to give him. What I mean is how much time until we start to see a difference. That's what I mean.
I don't think it'll be long, mate. But you have to caveat everything with the fact that how tough the Premier League is this season. Look at we gave away 4 goals against Forest, but it could have easily been small margins, isn't it? It could have gone the other way. And we really frustrated Arsenal for the first half the other night. And I think under Ten Hag, they could have been out of sight by half time.
I do wonder though, Ryan, and he made some really good points. I do wonder how long Ruben Amorim gives it. We know that this is his system, but if you keep playing this system and you guys look good and you look better, but you keep getting beat, how long does he persist with this 3-4-3 type system?
I personally think it's his way or the highway. I think they'll have to learn his strategies.
Okay, but even if they keep getting,
I know.
I just wonder if they keep getting beat by it. Does he ever? And I like the fact that he's a bit like, no, do you know what? This is what we're going to do. But I just wonder if he's like, do you know what? We just haven't got the players for it. So at some point, I'm going to have to think about it.
Daniel's up next. Hi, Daniel.
All right, mate.
Off you go, pal.
Just to say, agree with the last caller, really. Basically, I'm falling in love with the manager. He just needs time, basically. He hasn't got the players. One player I can't stand is Dallo. I think he's overrated. And we need a striker. If we can get a striker in January.
You don't like Højlund? You don't like Højlund?
No, I think he's a quality player, quality young player, but he's a young player. You can't have the shoulders of Man United on a kid. It just can't what happen. We need a top striker. and we need another right back. I can't stand Dallo. I think he's overrated.
You like Dallo?
I do like Dallo. I'll tell you what, though, you have to do it without Dan Ashworth. What's going on there, by the way?
That is so embarrassing.
Because look at his track record is very, very, very good. The fact that he's no longer there now, you just almost go, hold on a second here, are we taking a step backwards?
I'm reading different reports. I read a couple that suggested the reason he left is because he said that Gareth Southgate should be the next manager, and they didn't agree.
That's what I thought.
And then also he was supposedly partly responsible for offering Erik ten Hag an extension.
The Gareth Southgate one makes sense.
Yeah, and when Amorim took over, he's almost... These are just different reports. He's like, well, he's not my man. So they got him out of the club.
But surely that's got to be a conversation between the owners and the manager, whoever's coming in. Listen,
Yeah,
this is the
totally.
guy. This is the guy you've got to work with.
Totally.
Like, he's the guy we've brought in recently, 5 months ago, to kind of oversee transfers and identifying targets.
It's so embarrassing that's happened.
The fact he's gone now all of a sudden, it's like, wow, what a waste.
I'm not comfortable with that. Ben's a Man United fan. Hi, Ben.
Hi, Andy. Hi, Benty.
I didn't burst right.
Yeah, love the show, guys.
Thanks, man. So do we, actually. We really like it. But only when people like you phone up, Ben. What would you like to say?
So, you were mentioning before, Benty, about if we win the Europa League and finish 8th, 9th, 10th, then it's, attracting new players into the club. Honestly, guys, that terrifies the life out of me, because I could see my team get smacked by Club Brugge this year. We seem to, as United, go through this dangerous cycle of we get into the Champions League, and then we buy, I'll give Di Maria as an example, but we buy somebody for big on.
Oh, he's gone. It's not the best.
No, I get what he's saying there. He scares him because I think he's basically what he's alluding to is that you get into the Champions League and then you start buying the wrong players just because you think, we're in the Champions League, we need to buy top quality players like the Di Maria situation. Although he started really well for you lot.
Yeah. Do you remember that chip he scored?
Leicester. You got beat in that game, didn't you? 5-3.
I thought we won at 5-3.
I thought you got beat. Cambiasso scored. That's the right
yeah,
game.
you're right. We lost it.
Yeah.
Did we?
Yeah, Vardy scored, didn't he?
I can't remember if we won or lost that
Great
one.
game. But I get it, but he has got a long job, and as long as the United fans are patient, then I think eventually at some point he's got to get it right.
Okay.
talkSPORT Drive with Andy Goldstein. Monday to Friday afternoon from 4 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.